Hey, Nora.
Hi, Dad.
What do you want to talk about this week?
We're going to talk about an email we got from a listener.
Welcome, everybody, back to the Norah and Dad show. We did, in fact, get an email from a listener. Joe, thanks for the email. If you have questions for us, norahanddadshow@gmail.com. Nora, can you share with the listeners the question that we got that's going to frame our discussion today?
Okay, so as a musical Ohioan, do I aspire to be inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame someday?
Okay, so let's give everyone, before we get into discussion, let's give everyone the kind of too long, don't listen answer. Do you aspire to be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame someday?
What do you mean too long? Just no.
Like the too long, don't listen. Like if people don't want to listen to the rest of the podcast.
Oh.
Like the answer to the question is,
Okay.
we'll give them the TLDR. Do you aspire to be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame someday?
No.
Okay, and why not?
I don't want to be a musician. This might be very disappointing to some people, but I don't see myself being a musician.
It might be. So what do you want to be when you grow up?
I don't know. I like child psychologist. Teacher has also come back into my mind. I just want to work.
That's news to me.
Yeah, I just popped in like a month ago, maybe.
Is that because you're working with the littles?
I
at
do
school?
really like working with the littles at school. I just like kids. I think they're cute and they're fun. And yeah, I don't want to be like an elementary school teacher. I don't want to deal with middle schoolers or high schoolers. Like third and below.
Okay, so maybe a child psychologist, maybe not a musician, maybe a teacher. I think it's interesting because you've had a lot of like experiences in your young life with like actual, like at least in one case, really super duper famous. Like you've performed with someone who's actually in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Yes. I have. I don't know how many years ago it was. It was a while ago.
Do you want to tell everyone who it was?
And he's kind of underground. I mean, I know who he is. I don't know if I want to,
You don't want to out him?
Yeah, I just got to keep it underground.
I think people will recognize the name.
I don't know. Like I said, it's not really popular.
Oh, give it a try, and we'll see if people. Okay. Maybe there might be a few people out there that will recognize the name.
It starts with Roger and it ends with Waters.
So you did perform with Roger Waters of Pink Floyd, one of the most like famous musicians probably in the world.
It was like kind of cool, I guess.
Kind of cool, you guess, cool. to be on stage in front of 20,000 people singing and dancing to one of the most famous songs in rock and roll history.
And eating really good catered food.
From Roger Waters' personal chef, who I guess travels the world with him.
Yes, very fun day.
And being frisked and having to turn over your bag of dextrose that I think security probably thought wasn't dextrose.
Yeah, so I have this thing called fructose malabsorption syndrome. My stomach just can't digest fructose properly. So when I was first diagnosed with that, and for 2 years after, I think, I kind of carried around a little baggie of sugar with me wherever I went, called dextrose, because it counteracts with the fructose and turns it into glucose through some sort of chemical bond. My lovely friends thought it would be really funny if they acted like my dextrose was drugs in front of the security. Had to get searched.
To be fair, it is like a Ziploc baggie of white powder.
That says dextrose on it.
You could write dextrose on anything. If only it was that easy for the people smuggling drugs into the U.S. If they just wrote dextrose on everything.
This one's dextrose. This one's salt.
And that was a crazy day because you didn't even know you were doing that until I texted you at 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah, and
said,
then,
do you want to perform with Roger Waters?
In middle school, we're not allowed to have our phones on us, so I had to run to the bathroom to text you so I wouldn't get in trouble.
And so I had to tear across town to pick you up and your brother, drop your brother off at your grandparents. You had to get dressed in rock and roll appropriate attire.
Except they did not tell us the attire.
And they gave you a shirt to wear anyway.
Yeah, but I got dressed really cute, a little skirt and a little my little flannel phase. So I was wearing flannel. And then once you got they're like, oh, you can't have a skirt. I was like, oh, nobody told me that. So.
Well, and then they put you in like an orange, like you looked like you were in like an ISIS hostage video,
I
like
still
orange
have
jumpsuit
the
to wear on stage
number
anyway.
of it. I took a picture of it. Of me.
The number you were on stage?
Mm-hmm. I'll have to see if I can find it. 654 654.
654 654.
Yep.
You're another brick in the wall part 2.
There I am.
There's a video that I shot that's on YouTube of the whole song, and I'll put that in the show notes. There's the video that Roger Waters shared, like the backstage video on his Instagram, and I can put that in the show notes as well so people can go and kind of see some of what you experienced.
Okay.
There's a question. There's a question from Nora.
A statement. Going back to I know musicians. I also know musicians who are not like local musicians. And if I were to be a musician, I am assuming that I would be a local musician. And they have to have side jobs. So I just I don't know if that makes sense or not. That's part of the reason why.
You mean like scraping by without a regular paycheck musician?
Yeah.
Not I can live off my $5 million a year and I'm making that number up, but my massive royalty check from the millions and millions and millions of albums I've sold musician.
Yeah. So
right. Because the odds are much greater that you would be either busking on the street or playing in bars for a couple dozen people versus being like the next Taylor Swift or whoever.
I have very realistic expectations.
Well, as your parents that would prefer not to support you into your 20s and 30s, I appreciate your realistic expectations of wanting to have a career and put your, I mean, you're talented in many ways. You are like musically, you know that you're like musically talented, right? Like you appreciate that.
I guess. I don't want to say it.
You're being modest.
Braggy.
You're being modest,
yeah.
But you understand that you're musically talented, but you also have other talents. You're very smart on top of that.
Yeah, and I think I also want to keep the artistic side as a hobby.
So if
it happens that I would not be upset if I was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, but I would not want to I'm not actively working towards it.
So if fame landed in your lap, like you have a couple of songs that you've written that you're at some point soon maybe are going to go in the studio and record, maybe you made a face, but eventually you're going to go in and if that song landed in one of those songs landed in the right person's lap and it all of a sudden made it onto the radio and then you were on Jimmy Kimmel performing and on SNL and then on tour and then you sold millions of records, like you wouldn't be opposed to it. You're just not seeking it out.
Yeah, exactly.
Fair enough.
But
you don't have aspirations to not be able to walk down the street without people stopping you and interrupting you and annoying you.
Yeah, I don't think I would like that very much.
I don't think I would like that very much either.
I don't think I would.
No. Yeah, not a fan of not having like a private life because everybody knows who you are. Yeah, I would agree. So the answer to the question, do you aspire to one day be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? The answer is that's the big old X from Nora with the catch that if it happens, it happens.
I will not be mad. I will let fate decide that.
Who would you want to induct you? Who would you want to give your, if you were inducted in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, who would you want to give the Nora Marie induction speach?
I don't know. It's very difficult. It has to be another musician. Can it be you?
It could probably be anybody. I'm not sure that would make for great TV if it was me. It wouldn't be Roger Waters because he would not, unless there's amazing advancements in medical science. I think he's in his 80s. That wouldn't be happening.
You never know.
Yeah, I guess you never know.
I am quite a fan of Phoebe Bridgers.
So Phoebe Bridgers is giving the Nora Marie induction speech.
Quite a fan. Or Adult Mom. I've really been listening to Adult Mom lately. Very big fan.
I don't know who that is.
Cousin Maggie and I went to see Diet Sig, like at the Agora for that like little festival thing that they had every year, like the little Winterfest thing. And Maggie is a very big fan of Adult Mom as well.
That's Maggie, your older cousin.
Older, cooler cousin. And so we went and saw them first, and they were great.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it'll either be Phoebe Bridgers or Adult Mom.
It's very like singer-songwriter-y. I like it.
Or me, if the Rock Hall would let me give your induction speech.
Yes.
Fair
or
enough. Ed. Uncle Ed. Shout out to Uncle Ed. Uncle Ed, the music teacher.
Yes.
Who has become a very good friend of ours over the years. So shout out to Uncle Ed. All right. Well, Nora, thank you for the conversation and the interesting conversation, I think, about fame and celebrity. You put yourself in situations where the possibility for, like, you put yourself in situations for people to, like, see what you do.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you have a song released on Spotify and you put things on you, like you put videos of you playing music on YouTube. And
one of them that blew up quite a lot.
One of them did blow up, a cover you did of a Wilbur Soot.
Yeah.
Did I get that right? Yeah. Song.
10K views.
So you put yourself in situations for people to see you and hear you and discover you, and yet you have no aspirations to be seen, heard, or discovered.
Well,
I just find that really interesting.
I don't do music for other people. Maybe that's selfish. I do it for myself. I don't know if most musicians do that. I like playing music, so if it's something I can like make a couple bucks doing, and it makes other people happy, and it makes me happy, why not?
I think that's the way you should do it, because otherwise it feels like a chore or a job or a burden, and it shouldn't be. It should be like joyous and fun and enjoyable to you. So I hope it always is that. And if it's not, you should stop. That's my dad advice for the week.
Thank you.
When it's not fun anymore, don't do it anymore.
Fair enough.
All right. Well, if people want to check out Nora Marie the musician, where can they find you?
Nora Marie Music.
NoraMarieMusic.com.
Nora with
the website,
an H.
and that's where all Nora with an H, and that's where all the links are for the Spotify and the YouTube and the Facebook and the Instagram and the SoundCloud and the other stuff.
I forgot there was a SoundCloud. Don't go on the SoundCloud.
You can find me at John Hyman. You can find me at the Ohio Employer Law Blog. You can find us here at norahanddadshow.buzzsprout.com.
And you can send us more questions.
If you have questions, it's norahanddadshow@gmail.com. We would love to hear from you. Just drop us a line of encouraging words for us, or if you have a question for us or a topic you would like us to address on a future episode.
No politics.
We would love no politics.
Stay neutral here.
We try to stay neutral, but we would love to hear from all of you, as well as on the Apple Podcasts and Spotify, which just rolled out their podcast ratings. We would love 5-star ratings and reviews on either or both, to let other people who are checking us out know that we are something worth listening to. And so with that, I'm going to say thank you all for listening this week. Nora and I both greatly appreciate it.
And Happy New Year's to the listeners.
Oh, there you go. Happy New Year's to the listeners. All right. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Have a great week. Love you, Nora. Thanks.
Love you too.